Hi, nice to meet you.
We have some question to want to ask you.
Okay.
Why did you want to study abroad? Who do you think should study abroad? Can you give us some suggestion?
Okay, these are three questions. Why did I want to study abroad? The main reason is that I want to help indigenous peoples of Taiwan. So I think when I graduated from the college, I think there are so many legal problems about Taiwan's indigenous peoples. So the only way to change the law is to become scholars. So that's why I decided to study abroad.
If we want to study abroad, how should we prepare it?
Oh, actually, I haven't answered the second question. Who do you think should study abroad? If possible, I would suggest that all of you go study abroad. It's a very unique experience. And the third question is, can you give us some suggestions? What kind of suggestions do you want me to give you?
Some kind like how to prepare and what should we.
So if you want to study abroad, what do you need to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or how.
I think the first thing is if you do decide to go study abroad in the United States or Canada or England, the first thing you need to do is to improve your English. If you can't understand what they say or you can't understand the book written in English, you cannot learn anything. So this is the main thing. So, but if you want to study abroad in Japan, then you need to improve your Japanese. In Germany, German. So that's the first step.
So language is the most important thing.
Yeah, it's the tool. Language to me it's a very useful tool. But if you have this tool, you can learn new things that you cannot learn in Taiwan. But if you don't have that tool, it's very difficult, but you can still do it.
How kind of students do you think so far go abroad?
Everyone can go abroad.
Everyone.
Yeah, as long as you want to go there.
And all of us know that the American tuition is very expensive. For someone who doesn't have a lot of money, can you tell us how to apply for scholarship?
Okay. There are two kinds of scholarship. Do you still have the? Oh, okay, here. Let me show you first. Okay. This one. So there are many kinds of different scholarships. You can apply for scholarship from Taiwanese government or the U.S. Government or school. Usually the school scholarship, not the government. And for the Taiwan part, that this data I show you that the Ministry of Education, they offer 3 to 4 years for scholarship. That every year about 110 students can get the scholarship. You must take the examination to get this scholarship. And you can check this website here. They will have the most updated news about the examination. And also this is for the scholarship provided by the Ministry of Education. Also there are many other scholarships that offered by the other countries. They also listed here. So you can always check on this website. And also, because this scholarship is very competitive, so maybe you are thinking about applying for scholarship from the school you are applying. For example, when I study in the University of Arizona, it's the school. He offered me the full scholarship, including the tuition and the living expense.
Oh,
So
that makes sense.
yeah, you can apply. When you apply for school, you can. There's always a button to check. You can check it in order to apply for school scholarship. And also, they have 3 kinds of scholarship in the U.S. The first one is tuition waiver, meaning that you don't have to pay tuition. For international students, tuition is very, very expensive. So if you can get this tuition waiver, you can save a lot of money. And the second part is teaching assistants. The third part is research assistants. Teaching assistants, you should assist your teacher, and research assistants, usually you need to do some research for your teachers. But both of these scholarship, they will pay for your tuition and then give you also your living expenses. So if you can, for example, when I study in the University of Arizona, I have the TA-ship. When I was in University of Washington, I have the research assistantship. So it would cover
your tuition and
living expenses.
So do you get any other part-time job?
You mean when I was in the U.S.?
Yeah.
According to the United States regulations, international students cannot work there part-time.
International students cannot work there.
You cannot work. You can work for school as a teaching assistant or research assistant, or you work in a library. But you cannot work for restaurant or some like a clothes shop. You cannot work. It's illegal.
Only Taiwanese students can have part-time job, or other country students?
All international students cannot work in the U.S. It's illegal.
And explain to me, what was the biggest change for you when you were studying abroad?
I have no idea. I have no idea what's the biggest change. I guess
something different, like Taiwan and America.
Oh, I guess I see things differently. When I was in Taiwan, that I only knew Taiwanese people and think from the aspect of Taiwan. But when I was studying in the U.S., I try to look at things happen in Taiwan from different angle. Then I have different thought.
So you think you get the other angle for a thing or something. And what did you need to adapt in the U.S.A.?
Adapt? Meaning life
or food or something?
Food.
Or something.
Yeah, I don't have any problem adapting in the U.S. because when I was like Taiwan is a very Americanized society. I don't know what you think about that.
Like,
we can eat pizza and the Italian hamburger and the HBO we see every day is American movies. So,
yes.
So there's
like the food is lots of.
You mean the food?
A big plate or something.
Do you need to adapt to that? The only thing I have to do is share it with my friends. It's not quite adaptation. The only thing I think every students who study abroad would face is loneliness. Like you're away from your family and friends. Sometimes your boyfriends or girlfriends, you were there alone. So you need to adapt a life of being yourself. So a lot of times you know like who broke up with whom, maybe yeah, there are a lot, something like that.
Did you use the Skype or something to talk to them?
Yeah, when I study in the U.S., the most popular software is MSN.
Oh.
So I use MSN to communicate with my family. So you can turn on the video all night. Then you can see them, they can see you.
What are the difference between American and Taiwanese teachers?
Teachers, yeah, the teaching method is very different.
Yeah.
Like in Taiwan, the professor usually talk from the first minute to the end, right?
Yes.
And very few students or none of the students would ask questions unless the professor force you to speak. But in America, the students would raise their hand, interrupt the teacher all the time. Or they use like a Socrates method to teach. And the students are supposed to read a lot of readings before they go to the class. So in Taiwan, the main method is teachers teach and the students observe, and students seldom ask questions.
So if students read lots of book or something in information and ask more questions, it will not delay lesson. Because the student will study by himself or herself.
Yeah, American law school use case law system. We are a common law system.
Yeah.
So in case law system, you're supposed to read the case, and yeah, you have to see. And when the class starts, the professor will ask, for example, Wang Shiping, what's the fact? Please tell us the fact. If you say you don't know, you will have very bad point. So then,
what's the issue?
Yeah, what's the issue? And then, the students usually won't answer the teacher's question for a very long time. It's just 1 or 2 sentences, and then you'll have enough time to discuss the issues. And I don't think there is a delay or something. When I say that students would ask the question, it's not all the time, but sometimes. But in Taiwan, very few students would raise their hand.
Taiwan is common law, so because we don't have case law, we are common law, so if everybody raise their hand and ask questions,
you don't know how class will proceed.
Yes.
Right?
Or yes.
It's a very good question. Are you familiar with the PBL, problem-based learning?
PBL.
Problem-based learning. It's a different.
Problem-based learning.
Yeah, 问题导向学习. Yeah, it's kind of different teaching method or teaching philosophy. The main idea of PBL is to make the students learn by yourself, because learning is your job, not teacher's job. So it's a different method. I try to use that in one of my class, sociology of law. But if our school decide to use PBL, that doesn't mean that there won't be any lecture class. There will be a lecture class too, but the main proceeding is for you to learn by yourself, and the teachers teacher's role is like a facilitator, as you give you a question or a problem, and then he will lead you to the questions, but you have to study by yourself.
It means in class you have today we have a topic, and everybody know this topic, and we prepare by ourselves.
Yeah. There is in the teaching society that we know there is this is 5%, 20%, and 30%. When you just listen other people talk about something, you will remember 5% of it. So if you try to teach others, what's the main concept, you will remember 80% of that concept. So you see the difference? So right now that we are in the 5% model, so the professors prepare for like a 20 to 30 hours in order to give you 1 hour lecture, but students only receive 5% of it. Half the students are asleep or thinking about other things, right? But if you try to solve the problem by yourself, you'll get like 30% to 80% the result. So, but it's very, it's not easy because we are not used to this teaching method. So number 8.
How are the difference between American and Taiwanese students? What do make this difference?
Can you tell me more about? I don't quite understand this question.
Do you think
like attitude?
Like American students will study?
Yes. For one part, American students, I should note this. I study in a Tier 1 university in America. Tier 1 means top 50 university. Tier 2 is 51 to 100, and Tier 3 is above 100. I study in the Tier 1 university. Students are very aggressive, so they know what they want, and they would if the teachers say that you should read this, most of them will read if they go to school, and they care about their grades, because this will the grades of the law school will decide how which law firm he can intern. So they are very aggressive. But here, no.
You say American students know what they want.
Are we talking about law school students or university students?
Law school students.
Law school, yeah. And because in America you cannot go to law school unless you graduated from the university, right? So most of them already have a BA degree, and then some of them have worked for many years. They want to become a lawyer, so they take the LSAT test and then enter law school, and 2/3 of them must have loan from the bank in order to go to law school. So they study very, very hard. And in some states, the passing rate in every state is different, but usually between 80 to 90%. So most of them will eventually pass the bar exam. The only difference is how much money you earn. If you graduated from the Harvard Law School, you may have you may make like $250,000 per year. It's just the beginning. But if you graduate from Tier 2 law school, maybe you earn like $50,000 US. It's very different.
And the other, just all of the university students. I think law students special because they work first and study afterwards. But for the other university
students, they study very hard too. First of all, in America only, I don't know the exact number, but I guess maybe only 10 to 15% of the American high school students can attend university.
And it's my next question. I want to know if the university students.
Not everyone can go to university.
So it comes from many different countries.
And also, the tuition is very expensive even for American too. Like for example, there are two kinds of private university and public university. Like Harvard is private university, right? Usually private university is much better than public one. And the tuition for private university is around 50,000 to 7,000 US per year. So this is the average income of a family. So it's not very cheap. And for the public, for example, the University of Washington I went to is between 20,000 to 30,000. So it's not very cheap too. If you have two kids who go to university at the same time, you'll be bankrupt. So they have to, since their child is born, they have to save college funds for their kids. So and also they have two kinds of tuition. One is in-state tuition. That another is out of state. That in-state tuition for like a U.S.A is like 2,000 per quarter, and out of state is 6,000. So, for example, I am international students, right? I have to pay in-state plus out-of-state tuition, so that would be 8,000, right, per quarter. There are 3 quarters in a year. So, but for the students in the Washington state, he only needs to pay in-state tuition. But how about from Oregon, next to Washington? He still needs to pay out-of-state tuition. So some students, in order to go to college, they will move to Washington state to work 1 to 2 years in order to to pay only in-state tuition. For them, they really know what they want, and this is quite expensive. So they know what they want to do and study hard. And the higher education in America starts in college. So it's very intensive. The university students only take 4 courses, but these 4 courses will take away all your time. Reading assignments and homeworks and exams, 3 to 6 exams. You don't have time to play. So it's very different in Taiwan.
Students too
lazy.
Yeah, too lazy.
Yeah,
education too easy.
Education in Taiwan is very, very cheap.
So it's lucky or it's lucky or not?
I don't know if you think if everyone can go to university. Does diploma mean anything to you?
Diploma? What?
Diploma is after you graduate, you will have a piece of paper, right?
Okay.
If everyone has a BA diploma, does it make any difference? Like you and you and you? So your turn.
And can you talk about American food? Something you like or dislike?
American food, it's okay. I prefer Taiwanese food.
Prefer Taiwanese.
Yeah, I think something wrong about their tongue. It's either too salty or too sweet. Everything is too salty or too sweet. I prefer lighter flavor.
In America, Taiwanese food is strange.
In America?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some Taiwanese or Chinese restaurants in America. The same, it's too salty because most of the guests are Americans. They put a lot of oil, soy, yeah, and salt.
Oh, and do cook in the U.S.A.
Yeah. Most of Taiwanese students will cook because it's too expensive if you eat outside for 3 meals a day.
In America, have you can buy some vegetables or just salad, like.
Yeah, we can buy some vegetables. Yeah, they have vegetables. Yeah, but the variety is not very. There aren't many vegetables there. Americans have massive production of everything. You can only see like 5 kinds of vegetables, like broccoli, pepper, bell, and also tomatoes. Yeah, but not like the supermarket in Taiwan.
And in America, how does local students choose